Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome to this week's episode of Bets and Buds. We're the buds helping you cast those bets. I am Jason Smoking Token, and this is my partner in crime, Bobby Light. How we doing, brother?
I'm good, Jason. How we doing this week, bro?
We're at week 11. This season's going by quickly, man. We're in the second half now. Second half. What a time we've had. What a time we've had so far. Ooh, ready. We actually got a good Thursday night action this week here.
We do. This
good
is
Thursday
a good
night action. Thank God, because last week was a snoozer. Last week was definitely a snoozer. I'm sitting about 500 right now, 55% on the week. I don't have the exact stats from where I went last week, but I'm about 500 last week, 55% total.
You did. I went 64% this week.
Nice.
So
You've been kicking ass, brother.
2 out of 3. This was my best week of the season last week, was for sure. And on the money line, out of the 6 games that went by field goal, I lost 4 of those.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of last minute.
It could have been a 13-1 week.
We had 5 walk-off field goals last
Right.
week. What a tight week last week. It was a great week of football last week. Great week. So let's go ahead and dive right into this action here then.
Let's do it.
All right, so we got the Bengals and Ravens here. Bengals and Ravens up in Baltimore. Who do you like in this one, Bobby?
Oh, I actually like Baltimore in this game. I mean, Cincinnati, they blew one last week against the Texans. But Baltimore's playing really tough right now, so I think they get it done at home. They cover the 3.5 points, but I like the under in this game.
Okay. All right, so for me, I'm actually going to the opposite side.
Okay.
I think the Bengals, they did blow that game against the Texans last week. This is a must-win for them to keep pace with the Ravens.
Well, they have
so I
to
think
have
they
this
have to
one.
get this one. So I like the Bengals actually go into Baltimore. They cover that 3.5, obviously hit the money line, and I like the under at 46.
Okay,
Under at
we
46.
agree on the under then.
All right.
Because they scored 51 the last time, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that same kind of game.
Yeah, there was a couple defensive touchdowns, I think, in that one. And it's a primetime game. So I think primetime games right now are 25-7 on the unders hitting.
Yes.
They're 25-7 on the unders hitting. And so who do you like in fantasy on this one, Bobby?
I like Keaton Mitchell right now. Obviously, he's the last 2 weeks he's been really good. He seems to be the Ravens' flavor of the month right now because they switch up running backs like we change socks.
Yep. Sometimes it's Gus the Bus.
Well, I mean, Gus is probably going to snatch a touchdown every once in a while, but
Yeah,
Keaton's going to do a lot of the main work, and he's only going off at 4,800 right now. So.
And they like to use him in the passing game too, out of the backfield. So
Keaton Mitchell.
All right, so if for the primetime parlay action, I got a couple juicy ones I'm gonna throw out here. One of them is hitting at plus 1223. I like the under at 46. Mark Andrews anytime touchdown, and then Joe Burrow to throw for over 251.5. That's the first one at plus 1223. There's a second one that I like a little bit better than that one. That's still hitting the under at 46. Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown score, and then Mark Andrews has to go over 57.5 yards receiving. That one's playing out at 1088. Or 1068. 1068. Yeah, 1068. So that's where I like. Those are my 2 primetime parlay action. If you want to ride with me on that night, I like that as a good payout. $100 will definitely get you a nice little juicy pot there.
I like that. I like that.
All right, so then we're going to move on down. We're going to Chargers and Packers now. Chargers and Packers. That one is in Green Bay up in Lambeau Field. 2 struggling middling teams right now. Struggling middling teams.
The Chargers are putting up points, but that defense is bad.
And they just can't win. They do not play complete football games.
The Staley effect, I guess is what you call it.
Staley effect might just be the Chargers effect, man.
Yeah,
That's been going on up there for a long time. Yeah, all right, so I got 3 points to FanDuel on this one. 3 points.
I've got 3 as well through DraftKings.
All right, so for me, I like the Chargers in this one. I like the Chargers to go into Green Bay. Green Bay just hasn't really shown me enough life. There's a lot of issues. It seems like there's some dissension going on in the locker room. You have Matt LaFleur coming out criticizing their best offensive weapon in Aaron Jones.
Right.
I just don't like the vibe that's going on right now within Green Bay. So I like the Chargers to win that one and cover at 3 points. And I like the over at 43.5.
Okay, you like the over in that one? Okay. Well, I've got the Chargers covering at 3 and winning in Green Bay as well. But I like the under in this one. I've got it at 44. I know the Chargers can score. Green Bay, they can't. This could be a really lopsided game.
It could be lopsided. It could be a wild one. Who knows?
I mean, it could be a burner. In this one, okay, speaking of Aaron Jones, he's got to get going.
Oh, they have to.
He's got to get going. If the Packers want to be any kind of team, Aaron Jones, it starts with Aaron Jones.
Has to.
So give me Aaron Jones this week. I know he's a little pricey at 6,200. But there's really nobody else outside of Eckler that you're going to pay for in that game.
Yeah, no, there's not really anybody. I mean, because you got
and he was going off at number 2 this week at like 8,900. So
maybe Keenan Allen, but I mean, he's going to be a little bit too pricey for me in any type of daily fantasy.
Yeah, when I give out these picks, these are for your low end guys. These are your home like
bargain buys.
Hoping get a touchdown.
Get some bargain buys out there. All right, so next up we got the Raiders and Dolphins. Raiders and Dolphins. Oh no, actually I don't. I have next on the slate. I have the Titans at Jaguars.
Yep, that's what I got.
Yep, Titans at the Jaguars. Titans at the Jaguars down there at Jacksonville.
Ooh, Jacksonville. Do you think they're pissed off?
You know, but what's a weird stat is they say Trevor Lawrence does not play good at home this year.
Really?
Yeah, he actually has a much better QBR rating on the road than he does at home. So I don't know. So it's a tough one. It's an interdivision rivalry.
It
you know,
is.
if Vrabel's all, you're going to have those boys playing. It's a 7-point spread there. Who do you like?
I actually like Jacksonville just for I think they're mad. They got their faces kicked in.
Yes, they did. They got embarrassed.
They definitely don't want to come out and do that against a pretty mediocre Tennessee team. I mean, rookie quarterback. Aging Derrick Henry. The defense is not great. They traded away their best safety. So.
Yeah, Kevin Byard, yeah.
So give me Jacksonville in this game to cover the 7 points, and I like the over. I think they're going to put the hurt on Tennessee.
All right, well, we're in agreement on the over. I had the over at 40.5, but I like Tennessee to cover 7 points.
Tennessee to cover
I like but I still have Jacksonville winning that, hitting the money line, but I like Tennessee to cover that 7 points, just being an interdivision rivalry.
Okay.
I can see that being a tight one coming down, even another walk-off field goal type of game. All right, so who do you like in fantasy on that one?
I'd say give me Derrick Henry today because he's only going off at 6,300. I'd actually scroll down for him to find his name. So
that's a good bargain.
6,300 Derrick Henry. Jacksonville's defense can be suspect. That front four can be a little suspect sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah. For the run, they're good in the pass deep, but sometimes that run game can be susceptible to getting them there. All right, so the next up we have the Raiders and Dolphins. Raiders at the Dolphins. And that's down there in Miami, the South Beach game, the New Life Raiders.
I'm actually surprised that this one's going off at 13.5 right now.
I was surprised. I got them at 12.5, but I was surprised.
But even then,
yeah, I mean that was
really high. I know the Dolphins are good and they're supposed to beat up on bad teams, but is Vegas a bad team anymore?
I know they seem like the New Life Raiders under Antonio Pierce, new vibes. Everybody seems to be happy to be there right now. You know, they're going down to South Beach. They're in Vegas all the time, so they shouldn't get too much temptation from the South Beach flu.
Shouldn't be a problem for them.
You know, so, I mean, I got it at 12.5 for me. I like the Raiders to cover that 12.5.
I like the Raiders to cover as well.
I still think Miami's going to win, but I like them to cover. That's just a awful big spread there, and I like the over at 46.5 on that one.
I like the under in this one. I think it's going to be a tighter game than we believe.
Well, Devin Achane is supposed to be coming back too,
back.
so that adds a little bit more juice to that Dolphins offense.
That is my fantasy player of the week.
Oh, look at that segue!
Back this
Look
week.
at that segue.
He's actually going off at 6,300, but he's still 300 cheaper than what Mostert's going off.
Oh, nice!
And they're definitely going to get him touches because Mostert's actually dealing with a little nagging injury right now.
Yeah, because he seemed to slow down. He was on a hot roll there, but Mostert always kind of gets banged up during the course of the season.
He's 31 years old too.
Yeah, I mean he always kind of tends to get at this point in the season. He starts to get banged
for a
up.
running back.
Well, I know all running backs kind of take the business at this time. So, all right, next up we have the Cowboys at the Panthers. Cowboys at the Panthers down there in Carolina.
Giving up that big spread again.
Big spread, but you know what? They covered that
one would be worse.
I did too, but you know what? They covered it last week.
They did.
17.5 like it was nothing.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you got Dallas covering. Dallas wins, and you like the over.
Yes. Yes, you are correct. You are correct.
I was just going to go out there and see if we were on the same page.
You know what? It's just one of those things right now. Like, I mean, the Panthers have shown no life really on offense. They've got no weapons. The Cowboys' defense is smothering. They did lose Leighton Van Der Esch is officially ruled out with that neck injury. That's probably his career, honestly, because that's probably the third time he's lost the season to a neck injury. So that's probably it for him there. Who do you like in fantasy in this one?
I say if Carolina wants to have any chance in this game, they've got to get Miles Sanders to do something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they paid him some money to play this year. Are they not going to use him?
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know if he just doesn't fit the scheme. I don't know if he doesn't fit the scheme, but I know one thing. Frank Wright's he's got to go. Frank Wright's got to go.
Yeah, I wasn't real keen on that hiring.
Yeah, I didn't understand
how it went bad in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that didn't make sense in the turn around and give him that job there, especially when Steve Wilkes was doing such a good job in the interim.
Yeah. But yeah, Miles Sanders, $4,600. I mean, use really. That's what it comes down to. It's gotta get use.
Right. All right. So then next up on the slate here, we have the Bucks and Niners.
I've got Arizona. Houston.
Oh no, I've got that too. I got the Cardinals and Texans. Cardinals and Texans. All right, that was down there in Houston. Houston coming off the wow. C.J. Stroud.
C.J.
Stroud. And then welcome back, Kyler Murray. This should actually be a sneaky good game here.
It could be.
This should actually be a very sneaky good game. I got them going off at 4.5 as the Texans being favored there.
I've got it at 5.
Okay. All right.
But I like Houston to cover that one at home. I like Houston to win at home, cover that 5 points, but I like the under in this one because I've got the under over-under going up at 48.5. That seems excessively high to me.
I had it 47.5, but I think we're in total agreement on this game. We don't even have to dive too deep into it. I like the Texans there covering under. Who do you like in fantasy for this one?
James Conner. He's actually going off at 5,700. I mean, Kyler Murray can't be running all the touchdowns. Like with that old knee.
At some point, but I don't know. He was looking smooth.
He looked really good last week.
He looked smooth last week. Like, welcome back, baby.
James Conner, 5,700.
All right. So next up, we've got the Steelers. We got the Steelers and Browns. Steelers and Browns with Deshaun Watson being shut down for the season this morning.
Yeah, this one surprised me.
Yeah,
it came across the line.
That was, I mean, especially he looked good too. He actually said he injured in the second quarter, came back and went 14 for 14 in the second half. So, you know, a little Toradol shot in that bad boy.
Maybe he needs to keep it that way.
Oh, man.
Shoot it up.
Yeah, once that Toradol wore off, he's like, nope, that's it. That's it. So this one's in Cleveland. They got the Browns favored at 1.5. Who do you like?
This is an interesting game to me because it is in Cleveland, and B.J. Walker has not played like too awful bad. I bet the Browns wish they had Dobbs back now.
Oh, absolutely.
But I still think Pittsburgh goes in and beats Cleveland. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a close one. The over-under is really only 33. I think they go over that 33, but give me Pittsburgh to cover that one or the 1.5 in Cleveland.
We're in total agreement on that one. I had the over-under going off at 32.5. We're in total agreement. I actually like the over, just how low the point total is on that. The reason why I also went with Pittsburgh, too, because I also heard a little whisper that Dorian Thompson-Hunter might be actually playing, or,
really?
DTR, whatever his last, Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Yeah, DTR.
Third-string quarterback.
Yeah, so actually I heard he might actually be starting this week. With Pittsburgh, with a young quarterback like that, I like them to feast on that. So that's why I went and leaned on that one. So fantasy-wise, who are we going to this one, Bobby?
I looked at everything here. You got Warren and Harris both going off at 6,100 apiece. So I dug a little deeper. Give me Kareem Hunt. I did see him run the ball a few times last week. Maybe he gets something going. 4,900.
He's going to have to this week.
Yeah,
they're going to
have to lean on him.
Absolutely. All right, so next up we got the Giants at the Commanders up in Washington. Giants at the Commanders in Washington. Who do you like on this one, Bobby?
Oh, well, I've got the Giants getting 9.5 points here, so I like Giants to cover that 9.5. I mean, this game was 14-7 last time. The Giants actually won, but I think Washington pulls it off in this one. They win at home, but the under is 37. Give me the under in that one.
All right, so the only thing we don't agree on in this game here is I like Washington actually to cover.
Oh, you like
I had Washington to cover the 9.5. Just because, again, we got Tommy DeVito, Danny DeVito's long-lost love child there.
Maybe he picks something up this week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but I just don't have a lot of faith in it. I mean, I know this is an interdivision game, and they kind of can play some like the familiar foes, so they can play each other tight, but I think Washington's playing some good football for the most part offensively.
They are.
And I just don't know if the Giants will be able to do enough offensively on their end.
But you like the under?
Yeah, I do like the under. So everything we're in agreement on, I just like Washington to cover that one. All right,
who
do you
give
like
me Brian Robinson in this one. 5,800. That one surprised me too.
Oh yeah,
he actually had a ball in game.
Oh, he was beast, especially catching out of the backfield.
53 scrimmage yards for the game. Brian Robinson.
I like that. That's a good pick because he was bald last week. All right, next up we got the Bears at Lions. I think we got a Justin Fields return here.
That's what I'm seeing. They took him off IR, or they actually gave him some fantasy points this week. As far as
and the line move too. The line move once they made the announcement, because I think this game was actually a little high. This actually was at 10 points.
Oh, really?
As of yesterday, so this actually came down with the Justin Fields by 1.5 points.
Makes sense.
So for me, I like this is in Detroit. Detroit's been playing some unbelievable football right now. Even so the Chargers kept coming at them last week, and they just had an answer every single time. And so I like 8.5 to be covered by the Lions, them to win that at home, and I like the over at this one at 47.5. I just see the Lions been put up a lot of points.
They have.
Justin Fields might do some sneaky things, getting them back in the mix.
Because before Fields got hurt, he had back-to-back 4-touchdown games.
Right.
So it wasn't like he was playing terrible. Right. But I like the Bears to actually cover this 8 points. But I'm in agreement on the other two. Give me the Lions to win at home in the over.
Okay. And then what do you like fantasy-wise?
Give me Herbert, baby.
Khalil Herbert.
He's been sitting on my IR since he went out.
You've been banging that drum, baby.
He better come back and do something.
That's from wishful thinking. Like, please come back and save my roster.
Come back and do something. I need some 5-5. If I don't get a win this week, I'm dead in the water.
Oh, let's go, baby. All right, so next up we got the Bucks at the Niners. The Niners are back, baby.
Yes, they are.
Trent Williams and Debo came back off that IR, and man, they came a thumping. Oh, they embarrassed Jacksonville bad.
They did.
All right.
It wasn't even close.
No, it never
was
was even a
close.
game. Never, not a game from the moment they kicked off. All right, so I got 11.5 through FanDuel for the Niners being favored for this one.
Yeah, so you think they cover?
You know what? I'm not going to get some covering against them because as long as they've got Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel on the field, their first guy off the bus guys that march out in that field and lead those guys out there. With the Bucs, they don't have a running game, and you're not going to one-dimensional Baker Mayfield beat the Niners and have a competitive football game on one side. I mean, that was why I kind of feel like the Niners will cover that one. Yeah. And then I like the over at 41.5.
All right, we're in agreement on that, but give me the Bucs to cover that.
You like the Bucs to cover that?
Man, there's been a lot of tight football lately.
There has, but I've gotten burned a couple of those spreads.
There's been the occasional blowout. Like last week, the 49ers game was an absolute blowout.
Yeah, Cowboys too. I mean, they said they were 17.5. They were just, and then that goes against everything I've always believed with the NFL. But just as kind of the time's gone on, some of these teams are just garbage. They're just absolute garbage.
I'm going to take Tampa on that.
All right. And so who do you like fantasy-wise?
Oh, before I turn away. White, actually. We're talking about Tampa. If they want to do anything this week, they got to get White going.
They have to. I mean, he's actually been having some productivity.
He's actually not bad. He's averaging like 12 fantasy points a game on the FanDuel app. Well, I mean, it's not spectacular.
But it's better than what it was early in the season, absolutely. All right, so the next up, we got the Seahawks at the Rams. A lot of interdivision games this week here in the middle of the season. There's a lot of interdivision games. Seahawks at the Rams. This one's always a tight game here.
Stafford might be coming back this week, but they're probably going to hold him out one more week, I would imagine.
Yeah. Possibly. I mean, you never know. Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's kind of a beast, man. I mean, dude plays with separated shoulders.
He is,
and I mean, he's just a monster.
They had the bye, and he missed the 1 week. So, I mean, he could come back.
He could come back this week, but it's a tight game either way. I got the Seahawks are favored by 1 point in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Who do you like on this one?
I actually like the Seahawks to go into Los Angeles and win, cover, and give me the over.
All right, so we're in agreement totally on this one, except for I like the under on this.
You like the under?
Yeah, I like the under at this at 46. Gino's kind of reverting back to some old Gino ways, not the guy who had the number one offense in football last year.
Right.
So I don't see the explosivity there. Not fully know where Matthew Stafford is. That's kind of where I leaned on the under on that one. So who do you like fantasy-wise?
I need Charbonnet to actually do this. This be the third time I put him on this list this season. This is your last chance, boy.
You know what? I actually rewatched that game because they were showing it on NFL Network, and I couldn't sleep last night. So I watched the Commanders-Seahawks game, and it was amazing. Actually, Charbonnet had some really good runs, and he looked really good because I actually had him on my cut list because I was going to add Tyson Chandler.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And actually, after watching that game, I actually reversed it and said, nope, just in case Murray gets hurt.
If Walker goes down,
Kenneth Walker gets hurt.
Down, he's definitely the next man up.
Exactly. Right. So and he looked good. So actually, it was enough for me to
give me Charbonnet. This would be come on. I can't put you on the list if you don't do something this time.
Right. All right. So we're getting close to the end here. The slate. We got the Jets at those lowly Bills right now. Josh Allen. Oh, Josh Allen, what is happening to you here? So the Jets at the Bills. This is a 7-point game here. There's the 7-point dogs for the Jets here. Who do you like, Bobby?
I actually like the Jets to cover that 7. Mm-hmm. If the Bills do win, it's gonna be a tight one.
Yeah.
And I like the under in this one at 30. I've got 39 right now.
Okay. All right. So I have it at 40. The over under. I like the Jets to cover that as well. I have the Bills winning this game, thinking it's going to be a tight one. I like the over, just maybe some sneaky points in there. Also, they just fired the offensive coordinator, so let's see if there's any difference.
Open it up a little bit.
Let's see if there's maybe some changes in the offense.
Or Allen throws 4 more picks and the Jets run 3 of them back for touchdowns.
Yeah, and the Bills fans are completely out on Josh Allen after that point. All right, who do you like fantasy-wise?
Latavius Murray's actually going to be Buffalo's number 1 back going forward.
Oh, yeah. Brandon Cook.
I don't know why he keeps dropping the ball he does, but he cannot fumble like that and expect to keep his job.
Nope.
They actually didn't give him any carries until
he fumbled again. When he got back in. But that's what. So I had actually drafted him last year on fantasy, and that's why. So everybody kind of said, "Man, why does James Cook not play? Why does he not play?"
Because he fumbles
his
too much.
very first carry last year.
Yeah,
he fumbled, and he was buried on their roster. He was off my team fantasy wise for after week 5 because he was just after that fumble. They never trusted him.
Last week didn't
again.
help his case.
No, it did not. No, it did not. So then we got the Sunday night slate game here, I believe, isn't it? It's the Vikings at the Broncos. Vikings at the Broncos, new life Broncos.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Yeah, man. I mean, they've been playing some ball.
You look down, they're 4-5 all of a sudden.
They're playing ball. Russell, when you look at his numbers, don't really look bad. You know, I mean, he's doing a lot of dink and dunk stuff, but I mean, hey, they're getting wins. They're getting wins.
Williams is running the ball with authority again, it seems like.
You know, he's coming back off that ACL, so I think he's finally kind of getting his stride and
he's not
healthy.
getting the yards per carry that they would probably like, but I mean, he's running it up in there, and it doesn't seem to be bothering him at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he seems to be good to go. So who do you like in this one?
I actually like Minnesota to keep it rolling in this one, though.
They have been. Every time I've tried to go against them, man, they just keep going.
I did win against them last week, and that turned out to be the wrong call.
Yep, the last probably 3 weeks I've gone against them, I think, and they keep coming through.
For whatever reason, Minnesota's just, I guess they've got that team game going right now where they just believe that they're going to walk out on that field and beat you.
And Kevin O'Connell's a good coach, apparently. I mean, because he's shown.
I actually think Jefferson being hurt helps Dobbs in the long run. Get to know all the other receivers. Because if Jefferson was there from the very beginning,
might get fixated.
It would just be Dobbs and Jefferson, Dobbs and Jefferson, Dobbs and Jefferson.
Yeah, Dobbs, I like the way he seems to kind of spread the ball around the field.
So, yeah, I like Minnesota to win this cover, and give me the under.
All right. So we're in agreement on the under. I like, you know what, the Broncos right now are showing me that defense is finally playing defense the way that they were anticipating to play defense. Right now, Josh Dobbs is still kind of new. This is a home game for Denver. So I'm going with Denver for this one to win, cover, and obviously hit the under on that 43.5 is where I had the under at. All right, who do you like fantasy-wise?
Give me Tyson Chandler this week. I mean, he's obviously going to take over from Mattinson. He looked pretty good last week.
Oh, he looked like he was shot out of the cannon every time he got the ball.
Mattinson, if Chandler does this again, Mattinson might be looking for a new team at the end.
I don't know. They paid him, though. That's the one thing. They paid him. So, you know, that running back money, that's why it's hard to get for running backs to get paid.
What did they pay him?
I mean, you know what? They gave him a contract extension last year. I want to say it was like 4 years. I think it was maybe like 18, 19 guaranteed, somewhere in that range. Okay. You know, but yes.
Yeah, it could cost it. It could have bought him another year at least.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, but if nothing else, they're going to bring him back into the camp and say, all right, you're going to compete for the starting job because we paid your ass, you know, type of thing. So, all right, last one on the slate. This is, Super Bowl rematch.
Game of the
Eagles
week,
at Chiefs, so Monday nighter. We got some good primetime games this week.
We do.
We start the week off good, and we're going to finish it off really well. So we got the Eagles at the Chiefs in Kansas City. Who do you like on this one, Bobby?
I think the Chiefs get it done at home.
You think so?
Yep, I think so.
You know what? I had 2.5 through FanDuel. The Eagles as underdogs.
Yep, that's what I got.
I like the Eagles actually to go into Kansas City, win this game, obviously hit the money line, and I like the over at 45.5 to hit.
I like the over as well, 45.5. So,
yeah, so we're just on the opposite ends of this. I don't like either one of these teams, so I would go but I actually won big money on the Super Bowl with this one, throwing some crazy parlays together. I hit actually 2 + 2,000 parlays during this Super Bowl matchup, so I might look at something along those lines, depending on how the weekend goes with my other bets that I lay out there. But as far as fantasy, who do you like on this one?
McKinnon's going to make
McKinnon.
Because Philadelphia's defense, they're not going to run. Kansas City's not going to be able to run.
No, they don't run even when they can.
No, but it's going to be Dink Dunk, Kelsey, McKinnon coming out of the backfield, maybe Pacheco, but McKinnon down on the goal line, baby. You know he's good for a touchdown.
Oh yeah, he is. He's like that little bugger that always just kind of slipping his way through and somehow
4,600.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that play a lot. All right, so that covers this week's slate here. That was a full slate there going. This season's going by far too fast. We enjoy you guys riding with us.
Week 11 already.
I know.
We'll enjoy be at the playoffs before we know it.
I know it, man. It's, we got that Thanksgiving time. That's always exciting. Exciting. I love that Thursday action. All right, so once again, thanks for tuning in and riding with us. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Throw your comments in there. The more action, if you want to see more content like this, the more chatter we get, the more you're going to see that come pop up in your algorithms. We keep riding with you this whole season long. Thanks, Al Shot to True on the track for providing those beats for us. We enjoyed riding this season with you. Bets and Buds. Peace.